Hello, it's Ken here from RD Labs. So basically, over the last few episodes, YouTube videos, I've been really doubling down on the uprising of the whole prediction market space. I think this is a real massive area for the foreseeable future. It has phenomenal potential growth. I think one post I recently did, there's a potential that it can actually do a 100x in the growth. I think right now it's doing like $1 billion in volume, and it could easily hit $100 billion within the next 10 years. I actually believe it will be earlier than that. So what we're doing is spending time digging deep, building things within the ecosystem, contributing from a developer community aspect, trying out various platforms. Obviously, the leaders in the space are Kalshi and Polymarket, but there are other projects that are essentially being built on top of the architecture of these two using APIs and so on and so forth. So one of the projects is called Polyfactual, and Polyfactual essentially are trying to focus on the liquidity aspect. So basically, the largest market maker on prediction markets, and what they're essentially doing every time a new event has been launched on Polymarket, they are basically funding liquidity pool and using that to market make the underlying event, right? And then the holders will basically earn a delta neutral yield. Once the event resolves, it's redeemable for principal plus yield. Yes. So that's interesting, because obviously what happens is when you are in one of these positions, it could go on for days, weeks, months sometimes, right? So if there's a situation where you can generate yield based on that position, you know that there's this yield aspect, which is pretty interesting. So that's that. They have actually also launched a token. So let's just pop along. So here it says no brainer. This is what they're trying to achieve and build out bots and so on and so forth. So basically this is their site. And they said CNBC for prediction markets, Polyfactual. Okay, so streams live on Pump Fun. So it seems that they do like a daily stream, but CNBC. So here it says CNBC. So this is more about news, right? But the previous information was about providing liquidity. So we need to understand what's really going on here. So they've actually got a token. And the token basically was launched on Pump on 2nd of September, so like 6 days ago. So it's literally done, what is it, down to 50x or so? Or probably 70x, something like that. And it's now pulling back. So liquidity's 240,000, liquidity, 24-hour volume, 900,000 volume, market cap 2.3. So okay, so essentially here what you see here, current price, market cap. So here it's got breaking news. So it's giving you breaking news: Netanyahu wants Gaza residents to leave now. Okay, so this is 1826. So it seems to be aggregating a lot of this data, and a breaking news. What I would like, just someone that's a builder, and from a UI UX perspective, I think it's important that if I, for example, let's just say I'm on Polymarket and I'm looking at a bet here, for example, right? So there's a game between Norway and Moldova, and basically you could take a bet here, right? So this is sport. I would like if there's a situation whereby that if you have an interest or you're actively looking to invest, take a play in a sporting event, a political event, whatever the event may be. I would like a situation where you can have like a search, right? Like a search tab, and you can then type in the actual event, right? The actual event that you are interested in finding news about. So it's different to having this generalized, because anyone can aggregate this data via like Twitter API, and it gives information. This information might not be relevant to my interest, right? I might not be interested in politics or what's happening in Gaza or French national assembly or so and so forth. I might not be interested in that. So I think it needs to be filtered, catered towards your interests, and also based on the specific markets that you're interested in. So that's that. Then here it gives here crypto token. So project. So project says here project development. So what they're doing here, Project X introduces truth-backed token launches. So they're doing actually token launches as well on Pump Fun, but powered by verifiable truth rather than pure speculation. Each token is tied to real-world outcomes on existing prediction markets. Okay. So the question here are these projects, the ideas come from separate companies, individuals, or is this being launched in-house, right? Because it's totally different narrative there. And then here it has our cross-platform arbitrage bot finds price and inefficiency. Okay, so here it's got, so you're seeing quite a few different things here. Launching your own token, you've got a bot, you've got CNBC type news, you've got a market maker liquidity, and it seems that you've only been around, you were launched like 6 days ago. So I understand where you're trying to cover all things, but I always say that a jack of all trades is a master of none, right? So try and just from an observation perspective, try and focus on one area. Where does your skill set lie? Is it on the bot, our bot? Because with our bot, you can build so many different things, right? Looking for price inefficiencies. You can then basically scale it onto having a dashboard where you break down filtering. You can then identify price inefficiencies and, for example, then create like a bot which executes the trade, right? Based on these filters. So you can go really deep into each of these areas. But I would definitely suggest just focus on an area first. Once you get product market fit, there's a moat, then you can scale. So they're doing early access registrations so this is where the token comes into it, where you stake at least 100,000 Polyfacts by September the 12th, and then you hold that continuously. So they're doing like a launchpad scenario that they're scaling here. So they're I must say, they're extremely aggressive, right? May not necessarily be a bad thing, but they're not just focused on just building out. They've launched the token, doing staking. They're not playing around. So I guess they're really on top of it if they know what they're doing. So these are some areas that I would definitely suggest to play around with. I'm going to look into the project more, but yeah, just based on my the brief observations here is they really need to focus on an area, double down, scale up the area, filter out, as I mentioned, in terms of this content, this news aspect, that you can aggregate it but filter based on one's specific needs, and then you can be able to scale here. I understand why you'll probably do the streams on Pump, because obviously you launched on Pump number one, and that's where that's where the users are, right? So that's where you can essentially scale and then bring them, gain that attention from Pump Fun, and then drag them into the whole prediction markets aspect. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. So anyway, if you like this type of tutorials, reviews, I will definitely log in. I'm going to connect my wallet. I'm going to see what they're doing, like with all the other projects I am reviewing. If you like this, please like and subscribe. We've got also a Patreon link, so if you want to support what we're doing, we appreciate it. We are in the process of building some interesting things in prediction markets. We're looking for projects also to invest in. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Take care.